What's up, y'all? It's your girl Diamond, and we're back with another video. The motivation behind this video was from a recent tweet that I tweeted, and in it I had said college made me realize the PWIs are better than HBCUs. No shit is completely invalid. LOL. Option 1, go to a PWI and get a good job. Option 2, go to an HBCU and get a good job, but plus have more fun, plus the lack of stress associated with institutionalized racism in education. Now y'all, when I tweeted that, I had no idea of how much backlash that tweet, or how many people will be offended by that. Mainly because, like, I hear PWIs are better than HBCUs all the time, but when I tweeted that, so many people were just coming at me with, like, I can post some of the tweets on here, but if one person said, like, this will always be the dumbest debate to me because why does it matter what kind of school I go to? Somebody was saying, here it is, the dumbest tweet of the day goes to, and then somebody said there's no institutionalized racism at HBCUs. That sounds nice, sounds like a fantasy, but it was just a lot. Man, I be so tired of HBCU students slandering PWI students, acting like we hate HBCUs. This is actually funny. She said, I'm literally on my hands and knees on a pile of gravel begging. I'm literally on my hands and knees on a pile of gravel begging y'all to leave this conversation in the 2010s. Queen, get up. Anyway, moral of the story is, it was a lot of people who were offended by what I said. Just to address, like, the last tweet, it was a lot of, I think that may have been the biggest thing. People were saying, like, why do we have to keep talking about this? Or, like, why does this have to be a big deal like this? Like, just let it go and blah 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 blah. But I'm here to say that it is a very important conversation to be had. So personally, I believe this is such an important conversation to be had, because if we're ever going to move forward as an African American community, it's important that we are encouraging our young men and young women to be comfortable with going to, whether it's the PWI or HBCU, and just knowing that their success or the potential of their success is not determined by an institution or the prestige or name or what society tells us is the best way to go. And like, I remember one person was saying your comment or your tweet is pitting black people against one another. Now, if anyone knows me, y'all know that I am so passionate about the advancement of the African American race. And when I heard that, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little taken back, because that was just not my intention at all. My intention for tweeting that was to reach, or at least generate the conversation and awareness for students like I was, like in high school, who are looking towards colleges and were constantly told, like, oh no, Diamond, you're way too smart to go to HBCU. You're way too smart to go to A&T. Just the opportunities that PWI will provide for you are just far more than what an HBCU can provide for you. And these are things that were literally told to me. So as a 17-year-old looking at colleges, I'm like, oh, okay. To be honest, HBCUs were not even on my radar at that age, because my math teacher, to me, she told me, oh no, Diamond, you're way too smart. Students from PWIs were telling me that. So it's important that we have this conversation, because there are still students out there who are having this mindset that I had, like, oh no, I'm too good to go to a HBCU, or I'm not good enough to go to a PWI. And that's why the conversation needs to be had. Not the same conversation that's redundant, that one is better than the other. And if you notice in the tweet, like, I never ever said that HBCUs are better than PWIs. That notion is valid. A lot of people misunderstood what I was tweeting. Besides whatever you want to attach to what I tweeted, it's so important that, like, as a community, that we take in this new habit of assuming the best intentions. Y'all know me, I need the shirt, I'm rooting for everyone black, whether that's a PWI black student or a HBCU black student. But when people were taking that tweet and feeling personally attacked, as if I was saying that, oh yeah, PWI students are sellouts or that we are somehow better, when that was not even said at all. Even if I break down that tweet, for example, the first part of it said, college made me realize the PWIs versus HBCUs debate is completely invalid. That's what I realized from my experience being at North Carolina A&T State University. I'm not one to just put out stuff if I don't have a reason for saying it. Both of my parents are PWI grads and HBCU grads. You know, they went to, should I say the college? I'm just gonna say they went to university for undergrad. They went to Howard University for graduate school. They've shared with me, you know, like the disparity between their experience at one institution and at the other institutions. And then if you don't want to use that as an argument, like I said, when I was coming into college, HBCUs weren't on my radar because everybody was telling me that HBCUs were just not on my caliber, and that if I was going to be successful, then I needed to go to a PWI. And I remember interviewing for an Ivy League school. They blocked that out. So anyway, and my interviewer was a black lady, and I was like, oh, this is perfect, like, you know, good. And I remember us interviewing, and at the end she was like, wow, I'm very impressed. What other schools are you like interested in? And I was, you know, telling her, but at the end I was saying, you know, but this is really my top choice. You know, I'm really interested in studying with you all. And she was really honest with me, and she said, okay, I'm gonna take off my beat, I'm not gonna say the school, hat for a second, and I just want to be completely honest with you. I have my PhD right now. And I was like, oh, so where'd you get your PhD from? And she was like, Clark Atlanta University. And in my head, like I said, I was ignorant. I was an ignorant 17-year-old. I was like, you went to Clark Atlanta? She was like, yeah. I was like, so what was the motivation behind that? And she was basically telling me that honestly, her experience was very traumatic for her, and how she was treated, a lot of the racism that she had experienced. And she said, you know, I graduated, but that experience really made me just long for an environment that was nurturing, an environment of people who were really gonna root for my success. And that was also another component when I tweeted the lack of stress associated with institutionalized racism in education. And mind you, I said lack of stress. I didn't say there's no racism if you go to HBCU, because who knows, you may have a professor who, but I said the lack of stress. And I think that's important. Y'all gotta read closely. I was very strategic with my words. It's not just me being an HBCU student trying to call out PWI students. That was never the case. If you know me, I'm a very non-combative person. I don't really argue. So that was what I was referring to when I said the lack of stress associated with jumping through hoops of institutionalized racism in education. Once again, I never said that institutionalized racism wasn't in America. Obviously it's in America if it's in education in America. But y'all, I really love y'all though, because it's okay to have these type of discussions. It's important if we're gonna prepare ourselves forward and usher in an environment where like our young people can feel comfortable with going to a PWI or HBCU and not feeling like that they are lesser than, then I think that's when we really win in. Lastly, I wanted to address the have more fun part. So I said, go to HBCU and get a good job, plus have more fun, plus blah blah blah. And I'll be honest, y'all know I play too much. And the have more fun part was a jest. And a jest, it was a jest because, you know, people tell me all day long, since I've been at A&T, since I told people I was interested in A&T, oh, you know that's a party school, I hope you're gonna be focused, all they do is party down there. So when I said that, it was really like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go to HBCU, I might as well have more fun. Anyway, it's kind of like the same way that y'all say y'all invite like 4 rappers to y'all school and then be like, oh, we at HBCU because we got black. And y'all know y'all have done that. So don't be trying to say, that's another thing. I may edit this out. That's another thing. A lot of y'all was like, nobody ever says that. How are y'all gonna tell me what people have told me? Like, just because you never said that, you can't discredit anybody's experience. But it's okay because we're growing, y'all. This is a learning environment. This is a safe space. But like I said, I'm rooting for everyone black. Whether you go to PWI whether you go to HBCU, I love you. And we get into the bag. Conclusion, to sum up everything, in no way, shape, or form was I trying to demean anyone. And if you look closely at the tweet, I never did. But I was just coming from a place where we have to stop making this one's better than the other. So whether you say it out loud or think it in your head, it's a problem. Y'all, let's continue to assume the best intentions, to stay positive, to have these healthy discussions without being disrespectful to one another, because, you know, we all we got. Stay safe, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.